Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. I was excited about today's show prior to today, but I was much more excited after I actually started to read the books that this author has written because I'm probably her biggest fan now. I don't mean that in a weight thing either, so don't change that. I also did invite Stan Solo, you know him, my friend, because he's more familiar with the books than even I am. But without waiting, could I bring these people out here? Kimberley Bouchard, who is responsible for the whole series, Positively Disney. If you don't know about this, and you probably do, because I'm late to the game, Positively Disney. There's a whole series. We're going to talk about the series. I only started on book 1. I am totally hooked. Amazon, Kindle. Just shut the show off and go buy it. I'm serious. It's not. It may not be what you think. Let me bring them out. Hello, Kimberley.
Hi, John. How are you?
Thank you so much for being here. It is really my pleasure.
Oh, wonderful.
I'm bringing Stan in, who I know that you know. Hello,
Oh,
Stan.
hey, Stan.
Let me just start off by saying that there was a show that you did, and everybody said, John, you have to have Kimberley on. I can't believe you haven't had Kimberley on. You have to have Kimberley. When I heard Positively Disney, like I said to you, I thought, oh, this lady's going to tell us all the positive things about Disney. You should go and eat here, and you should go and eat there, and not COVID. So that's what I thought. And then when I read it, I'm like, the book says heartwarming somewhere. I think it's in the front of the book. And it really was. And if you've ever watched, thank you. If you've ever watched the Panda show, it's been years now that I've been doing it. And it used to be a live show with guests in the office. In the office, I say. The whole thing was positivity, and at the end, talking about giving out panda hugs and spreading joy and love, and just trying to be positive. And even when something's bad, trying to look for the positive. And this book was the epitome of that. How did this idea come about? And what if somebody asked you to describe your books? What would you say?
Well, I'd first of all tell people to make sure they have tissues by their side because, as in Stan's words, I do take you on a roller coaster because it's really speaking to the human condition, and as human beings, we have so many emotions, and it really, really touches your heart. These stories touch your heart. So you will laugh, you will cry, you will be inspired by them. So I always say, think about Chicken Soup for the Soul books, but amped up because they're Disney and Star Wars.
I definitely agree with that. Stan, what would you say?
Yeah, no, I agree. She takes you on a roller coaster ride with these books, and that's how I described it to her so many years ago when I read the first one. Is you get a story that just uplifts you and makes you feel amazing, and then you read another story and you realize, like, wow, my life is really good compared to what could be or whatever. Yeah, and they're amazing. They're actually amazing stories. How she tracks these people down is beyond me.
Yeah, right. The Robe, thank you so much. This is my friend, The Robe. The Robe, go take some of that money and please go buy her books for me. For real, I'm serious. You have to buy these Positively Disney. You will love them. Your daughter will love them too if you read them to her. But just to get one story out of the way, and I don't want to, you know what? All right, yeah, I'm going to get this one story out of the way because this one really touched me. I think that it was about Hayden. And this was, I think that we go through Disney and people will say to me, why do you go year after year? It's a theme park. It's just a theme park. And I think if you ever had to prove to anyone that it's not just a theme park, give them one of these books. Because you can see how something that seems on the surface to be an entertainment company, we know it's a money-making entertainment company, it's so much more than that. And what branches off of it and the seeds that it plants that grow are amazing. So the one story that I really read intently and just touched me was Hayden, I believe, is Mike Honeycutt's son. I think he's on the spectrum of autism. Today he's probably 17 or 18. I don't know his age.
Yeah, he's about 20 as today now. Yeah.
I think they went to Epcot. They strolled around World Showcase. Maybe not everything interested him in the world. He saw the Mariachi Cobre singers, dancers, performers, the mariachi band, and he was just enamored. If you can give us more on this, Kim, I do have a little video show, but I don't want to say the story that you know much better than me.
Sure. Well, so Hayden, he'd had kind of rough, sometimes these children on the autism spectrum, especially when they're teenagers, kids are mean. People, don't treat them necessarily as nice. And this one day, the family were in Epcot, as you said, and they caught the Mariachi Cobra, and they noticed that he was conducting. You know how little kids will kind of conduct a little bit? He was keeping perfect time. They noticed that, picked him out of the crowd, had him come up and do that, to finish the set. And basically, the parents stayed behind chatting with him, and they ended up, when they went back home, so that was probably when he was about 15, 16, he has perfect pitch, which means that he can hear any instrument, any song, and play it, which is a real gift. And so he taught himself every single Mariachi Cobre song. And his father was quite surprised about this and realized that, gosh, these guys had a real connection. And the long story short, he ended up getting the viola. I think that's what you call the Mexican guitar.
I was going to ask you.
Yeah, and the group actually took them under their wings. So they gave him a belt buckle, they gave him a hat, they gave him the opportunity to play with them. When they saw that he knew all their songs, he plays with them. Epcot, the higher ups came out. They were so happy to see him. But what they taught him the most, and every time he goes to Epcot, by the way, he does play 5 out of the 7 sets with them. Okay. So what he learned confidence. These guys became his friends, and he learned that not all people are cruel, that there are good people in the world. And he actually became homecoming king and became very, very, I guess you could say, established with himself and okay with himself, and beautiful, gifted young man that the Mariachi Cobra, as I said, really impacted his life. They changed his life, really.
Disney could have easily been that corporation that said, I'm sorry, we can't have someone perform with the band.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's insurance there. They didn't.
Yeah.
Stan, do you remember this story?
I read the book so long ago. Probably. Now you mentioned it, I remember it. Oh, yeah. It was. I read him like that. That was from the first.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a long time ago that John's going back to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I started with book 1 today, believe it or not. I was late to the thing. I will be buying every single one, and I'm not.
That stuff comes in, stuff comes out. I got the Star Wars book stuff more in my memory now than.
I do have a little video. It's about 20 seconds that Mike did put on YouTube. I tried to message him actually to get permission. I'm not going to lie. I did
No,
not
you
get
can.
permission.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did put copyright Mike Honeycutt, and I'm going to try to. Here's another thing that'll come out of that. I might turn out to be friends with Mike Honeycutt after this. So let me just. I just want to show you how seeds grow and things happen.
Of performing traditional mariachi music here since Epcot opened, and it's all because of our guests, so we appreciate you being here. We have a special guest performer with us today. Everybody, come on, Hayden. Everyone, this is Hayden, and Hayden is going to play vihuelas, a small guitar instrument. Hayden came to visit us here at Walt Disney World 3 years ago. He loved mariachi music. His dad bought him a vihuela, and he's got about 20 or 25 songs in his repertoire now. So he's going to play a few tunes with us. What are we going to do, guys? Okay, so we have a very popular song written by the Mexican composer Jose Alfredo Jimenez. This is called El Rey.
Yeah, if Mike comes here and lets me know, I will make a nice professional video for him with Hayden there, with try to get some enhanced sound from Hayden's area. I just love that story. That I just think it could have went so many other ways where they could have said thank you, it's very nice, but not have really taken him in and seen that whole thing. And that's just one story. And then that if you turn the page, there's another story like that after.
There's so many stories that I am so grateful to be able to write about. And I mean, it's just, it's interesting how Disney affects everybody on different levels. It does affect you. You've got the grandmother at 75 that, gets to meet her Snow White princess for the first time at 75, or the grandfather at 86 that's been waiting all his life to meet Mickey Mouse, or the rocket scientist sewing a beautiful dress of Belle to, for an engagement. You've got even some autistic children that I know, I shouldn't say autistic, but the children on the autism spectrum learn how to talk. They start talking. Are you kidding me? At Disney. What is that all about? Isn't that incredible? Something there. There is something there. That is the magic. The magic. People ask me, what is the magic? I don't know if you're going to ask me that, but I'll tell you. You know what the magic is? The magic is everything that is good in the world that happens when people go to these parks. they become nicer. They become, it becomes a family. Everybody is welcomed, everybody. And I just think, gosh, if they could do that in that square foot, several hectares or whatever, square miles, we could do that in the rest of the world. You know what I mean? Like, there is a transformation of people.
100%.
Go.
You always mention the word, or you've mentioned, I think in the book too, excuse me, inclusivity. And Stan, you might be able to help me with this. There's like keys that they teach the cast members, and they recently added, not that it wasn't there, but they recently added it officially, inclusivity.
Yes.
Do you know that? Yeah.
Yeah. There used to be the 4 keys, and now they added the 5th key of inclusivity. Yeah. It was show, safety. Safety was the number 1 key, and then show was number 2. Where were the other 3? The other 2.
Like movement of people, like traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few. I know inclusivity was just added recently.
It was added, as a 5th key. You talk about people getting out of their shells, and that is 100% true. My very first time taking my daughter to Walt Disney World, she's a very shy individual and very quiet and very, almost like a turtle. And the closing of Epcot, and we went around World Showcase one last time, and she was dancing in the street. Like I would have never imagined I'd ever see her doing that, and like just by herself, walking and dancing and having a ball. Like, it's just amazing.
I think it is amazing how the people, they say to me, why do you go year after year? And it is the feeling that you get of being in the park. I think a lot of times the magic is inside us, and Disney unlocks it, if you will, maybe. I think that's a little bit of what Kimberly was saying. You were saying it brings out the good, basically. Kim, I have to tell you, if you ever do a book or a comedy part, I was going to put a book together. My mom is no longer with us, of just comedy things that my mother did at Disney. For some reason, she was very funny there. It's not even good funny stuff. But if you ever want to put a little piece in the book, she would go. I had her in the wheelchair once because she couldn't walk that well. She was not feeling so well, but she walked fine. We got to the wishing well, and she goes, "Watch this." And I'm like, "Mom, what are you going to do?" And I've said this before, Stan. I think you remember.
I'm reading Donald's comment. He said it. He has it memorized.
He's talking about before he even said it. Said it. Kimberly, she goes, "How I wish I could walk again," and throws a quarter in the wishing well, and then stands up from the wheelchair, and the people, they think a miracle just happened at Disney, and she thought that was the funniest thing. I'm like, "Ma, I'm yelling you out." She did a lot of those things that just made me feel that thing.
You know what? I have to tell you, it's so funny you say this. I've never shared this on. So it's the first for anything that anybody knows about me. So my mother-in-law, huge roller coaster fanatic, So here she is in her mid 70s, thinking they are going to kick her off out of the line because she's doing the roller coasters too many times. And so then she starts chatting up the people in front of her, trying to camouflage herself in with various groups so they don't pull her out of line, saying, "Lady, you know what? This is a risk for you."
They used to give you. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I just thought you were.
Oh, no. It was ridiculous. Like she just went on them over and over and over again. It's like, if you saw this woman in the photos, like with her hands up and just going crazy, that was my mother-in-law.
It's funny how she thought that she was going on too much. They would give you a free cookie around Christmas, and my mother would go up and get the free cookie, and then she'd go back again, and it's fine. You're allowed to get as many free. They don't care how many. She'd go, "John, don't we have to get one for Diana?"
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, "Ma, you don't have to lie. It's okay to take the cookie." And there was a new name every time. She was ready to get into a disguise. So now I did not know until Kimberly told me that Kimberly, how many books are there right now?
Well, there are 5, and there's a 6th one coming out. Actually, a 6th and probably and a 7th with coming out this year.
Okay, I was not aware that they had themes. 1 and 2 is a compilation, and then starting with 3, can you give me what the themes are of them?
Yeah, the 3rd book is the romance edition. So it's the proposals, it's the engagements, it's the honeymoons, the various weddings, and Disney-ized. The 4th one is another compilation. The 5th one is the Star Wars edition. The sixth one will be another compilation, and the seventh one is going to be an absolute, complete, mind-blowing surprise that I cannot share with anybody right now.
Okay, when is the sixth one? The sixth one is out or not yet?
No, the sixth one is coming out this year, probably by the end of the summer. That's
And
the goal.
7 will be the next summer, probably?
No, 7 will, if all goes well, Thanksgiving or Christmas.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
I need the subscription thing.
So the sixth one is another Star Wars one, correct?
No, sixth one is another compilation of
So
stories.
Star Wars?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you were working on Star Wars one.
I am. Oh yeah, but because of something else, Star Wars will the Star Wars will be book 8. There's something else that's coming. Yeah, on the 7th.
I was waiting for the Star Wars one to come out any day now.
I know. No, the Star Wars. You know what? So the second Star Wars book will be out in time for Star Wars Celebration, which I will be attending.
Oh, nice.
Next year as a vendor, actually, as a guest. So
see you there.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Kimberly, you yourself basically have a story that you could put in the book. I think it's in the foreword, but I think you could put it in the book. If there was a lady writing these stories, like yourself, she could absolutely get Kimberly and make your story. Apparently, you were walking through Epcot again. A lot happens in Epcot in the World Showcase. And you again, happenstance. That is a real word. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Happenstance. Where you just saw an Irish dance was going to start, a show, and you and your kids watched it. How long ago was this?
That was in 2003, actually. Yeah. I mean, we actually came back for it. I think it was like they were just going to be there for a day or two, something like that. It wasn't a regular thing at all. They were kind of passing through a river dance troupe. And my kids were totally amazed by it. The year after, our daughter started dancing. Our sons joined her a year after that. And they ended up being good at it. And what happened is all my kids became championship level, world level Irish dancers. We ended up traveling the world. Our whole life path changed. We traveled the world to compete and dance. My sons just retired a couple of years ago now. But I mean, we ended up, their last performance in Ireland was at the Gaiety Theatre doing a river dance show. And we actually danced twice in a North American Championships at Walt Disney World. They performed on the Walt Disney World stage. It's just, we had no idea. First, we had no idea that river dance really existed. Second, that our kids would actually be good at it. And third, that our whole life would change from that moment.
Do you ever really stop and think, if we didn't see that show?
Oh, I know, really. I mean, and you know, like we traveled for 15 years. We traveled the world for 15 years. And the people, the place, I mean, my youngest has a selfie with the Mona Lisa. We've been to, you know, every place you can imagine in Ireland, in Scotland, in London, and, you know, just all these experiences and the people all over the world that we've met and actually are friends with. It's really, it's stunning. I don't know. I mean, you know what? People said, oh, what if you didn't go there? I said, no. It was always meant to be. There are no ifs, you know.
My comic brain thinks, what if she would have went to France, Stan, and saw them putting the chairs up? Her kids would have been championship chair stackers.
Oh, good Lord, no.
or a candy maker from China or something.
Stan, are there give me a Star Wars story, Stan, in a summary that you remember?
Yeah, the one that I really like, and it's a pretty popular Star Wars story amongst the Star Wars fans, but Kimberly talked about it, was the girl who had cancer, and they made her a droid.
Oh gosh, R2KT.
R2KT, yes, and
wow.
R2KT became kind of a huge thing amongst the Star Wars fans.
Mm-hmm.
And the droid builders built her a full-size life working R2D2, and
Yeah.
pink instead of blue.
Yeah.
How did they come upon knowing about this girl?
Well, she was a huge Star Wars fan, this little girl, and they actually, if you watch, I think it's The Force Awakens, that droid makes an appearance in the background in one of the scenes in The Force Awakens. Yeah.
And her dad is Albin Johnson, who started the whole 501st, the charity organization that is all the Star Wars charity organization, and that everywhere in the world they have these people that have to develop screen accurate costumes that, and they go and do work for charity. They make appearances, and all the money goes to charity. It's all volunteer, and yeah, so it's all over the world. The 501st, and yeah, her dad started that all, and then they went through a lot of hard times. Yeah,
but it's like one little spark started something, and it just
Mm-hmm.
evolved and became bigger and bigger. And now they raise money for different cancers by
Mm-hmm.
selling these patches of
Mm-hmm.
R2. I can never get the name.
R2KT. Yeah,
KT.
her name, because her name was Katie. Yeah.
Right. I keep thinking QT, like she was a QT.
Oh,
When you say
KT.
was
Yeah.
Katie, she did
Mhm.
pass.
Yeah. So they sell these patches every year, and they the money that they raise from these patches, that they're just then people collect them and sew them on their jackets or whatever. And
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
In the beginning, Kimberly, was it hard to find? I mean, how did you curate the stories in the beginning?
You know, so I decided to, I just, on Facebook, I just put a little Disney banner. I said, hey, if anybody knows a movie that's had a special, something happened to them, can you reach out to me? And you know what? So my very first animator that I interviewed, I was introduced to in person at an Irish dance competition out of state. Isn't that funny?
Yes.
So people started coming to me, and once in a while I would see things. And like if I saw a snippet of something on television, I would go find the people, and I want to know the real story, but yeah, so it's really, gosh, I look back and I think, wow, how did all those stories come to me? But they were meant to be told, and so they found their way to me.
Now I'm assuming people are coming to you.
Oh yeah, they've been coming to me for a while. So yeah,
it's got to be hard when somebody has a great story but the book is done or you don't have any room to tell them, hey, I'll save you, because there's got to be so many stories.
Yeah. And I can only write so many, and people understand, though. I mean, not everybody that has a story can be in the book. So then I try to have them on the show, like, because I have a live show every week.
Oh, please
as
tell
well.
us about that. I did not know that.
Yeah. So the Positively Disney podcast, I think we're on show, I think it's like 120 or something like that. I do. My season is winding down in May this year, but I go through, I have, this is the end of my 4th season. And so I have Disney celebrities and guests and cast members and things like that on, interview people all over the world, have a lot of fun with that. But yeah, so if I can't get somebody in the book, I will try to get them on my show and to share that, because I think there's, I always say we're the sum of our stories. We that's how we connect. Our stories, we connect through our stories, and I think it's important, to acknowledge everybody's story. To be honest with you.
Yeah, and I think everybody has a story. It may not be the greatest story to put into a book, but I think everybody has it. I know one
Absolutely.
of my friends, I won't even call her out. She said that her family always felt together at Disney, but never anywhere else. So she would always look forward to that trip.
Aww.
And it was kind of, it was very therapeutic for her. I find Disney therapeutic just for me to go and have a good time. I'm sure it's an escape.
People go to Disney for all kinds of reasons, really. I mean, there's people that are healing or from whatever, they go there for celebrations, right? Of course. And people just go there for a break. It's honestly, in all the places I've been in the world, it's the only place that I can truly leave my worries at the gate. Do you guys agree with that? Like, you just
100%.
don't have to think about anything. You just go and enjoy yourself,
Yeah.
Well, fishing.
Oh!
What?
You know what? I've never caught a fish except on a frisbee. I caught my only fish on a frisbee, a salmon on a frisbee that had knocked himself silly, and all I had was a frisbee, so I scooped him out of the water. True story. I've never caught a fish before except for with a frisbee.
I haven't gone fishing in years.
Stan, give me more Star Wars stuff that has struck you.
Well, sorry, he was talking about the 501st, and one of the things that I remember reading about was how they mention that when they visit some of these hospital rooms, they're glad they have the bucket on their head, because they're crying under those helmets. Some of those emotional stories that they come across.
Mm-hmm.
But not all the stories are gut wrenching. You have a lot of
No,
fun.
those are the ones that we kind of hold tight and remember, though.
Those are the ones you remember more, yeah, but that's for sure. But they're not all gut wrenching. Like I said, it's like a roller coaster when you read the book.
And that's why I ask people to read from the first story to the end in order. But you know what? My mom didn't listen to me until the fourth book. Yeah, was that you too, Stan?
I was the same way. I was reading the book. Oh, this looks like an interesting read. I would read that story, and then I'd flip and find another story. And then when I had you on, when I was talking to you, I was telling you that, and you said the same thing. My mother was doing the same thing. No. The stories are meant to be read in order, so you do go on that roller coaster.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to think that you did book 1 and 2 as compilations and then got to the third one, romance. Did you ever say, I wish I would have kept from book 1 and 2 this because it would have fit good in the romance book?
You know what? There are a couple of stories, romantic stories, of course, in book 1 and 2. But I just feel like, the stories came out the way they were supposed to come out. You know, they were placed in front of me at a time they needed to be shared. For example, there's a couple that I knew about their engagement before she did in the romance edition. And then, believe it or not, I was actually there when they got engaged, not present, of course, but I met them the next morning. So as I said, I mean, if I wouldn't have known about that for book 2. So as I said, things they unfold the way they're supposed to unfold. I find I have to trust in that.
Okay, this question you may not be able to answer, or you may have to not answer.
Oh,
Is there a story that's not been printed yet that really is important to you and striking to you, and you can give a little summary? Something
you mean that's coming up in book 6?
6 or 7 or whenever, yeah.
Or 22.
I don't want you to give it away that, we're still going to get the book, but whatever you can give us that might give us a little summary of something that's really hung with you.
Oh,
You don't if you don't want to reveal anything that hasn't been printed yet, you don't have to.
Well, okay. I'll give you a little teaser. So,
Okay.
You had Greg McCullough on your show.
Love him.
And so I've got Greg's full story in there, which there's going to be, let's just say there's going to be a lot of people surprised about him and his life. And the little boy who he created the urn for, that is, grab the tissues, because as difficult as that was to write, it is really showed so many good things come out of such a tragedy. And I have to tell you, so I can't tell you anything else, but
that's okay. That's
it's
good.
just, I don't know if Stan knows this or whatever from meeting you're talking, but when I write, I actually live the story. I live it. I walk it. And I cry a lot of times when I'm writing because it touches me. And I'm like, I'll call my husband. He's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I just need a break. I'm telling him what I'm writing about, And it's, when you see something, an emotional thing on television or a movie or whatever, you're living that moment. Well, I'm living it while I'm writing it. So I'm making my own moments in the story. And it's sometimes it's really hard, especially when I'm facing those that have a lot of tragedy in them. But I have to go there because it's the good that comes out of that tragedy. And, I never cried during an interview until the Star Wars edition. And I cried 3 times during the interview. I was crying with the people that I was interviewing.
It
was hard.
I bet
it was hard. Oh, I had no idea. I loved Star Wars. I saw all the movies and that. I wasn't crazy. I didn't collect things. I didn't belong to the fan club or anything like that. But honestly, it was that book when I started talking with that community, I absolutely fell in love with them. I absolutely did. And it's just, I can't even explain the power behind the Star Wars fans versus the Disney fans. Because, something I discovered, that you can be a Disney fan and a fan of Star Wars. But if you're a diehard fan of Star Wars, it doesn't work always. It doesn't reciprocate always. but yeah, so yeah, and I'm just so grateful that I could do that, because I never would have gotten to the essence of what Star Wars means to people, nor the essence of what Disney is to people.
There's something that I mentioned to you in the couple of seconds that we got to talk before the show came on, and that was your writing style. And I'm not just saying this because I don't have to say it. I could have let this pass. And Stan, I need you to figure this out with me, because I don't even understand it. Because, you know, words are words. But as I'm reading this book from Kimberley, I felt her warmness through the words. I knew who she was before I met her and saw her. And I'm saying that I felt, I could tell, I don't know if it's just she was clear at communicating. She wrote in the way that I understand. I just felt like, oh, I know this person. Did you feel that something? Well, it's not just a normal reading, you know.
Yeah, but what's interesting is the way that Kimberley does this books. It's not, she doesn't just interview the people and she asks, and when you're reading the book, she's asking the question, they're answering the question. She writes a story, from their life experiences. She creates a story from it. So it's actually stories you're reading, not interviews you're reading.
But you feel the heart in it.
Oh yeah,
She could have wrote the story a little bit differently, but the way it's written, you could tell she's invested in it. It really is. It's a pleasure to read because of that. Somebody from the Fisher family you might know is.
Hi guys.
Can you tell me what the Fisher family story was?
So they are they're members of the 501st, and they do some amazing work. Just, you know, their story is in the Star Wars edition, and you know. I have to tell you that I'm so glad that they're on here listening, because I love these guys. You know, they anybody that has been a part of my series are very special to me in my heart. And so it's nice to see them. But you know, they just, Star Wars is in their hearts, and the things that they do for others is very admirable. Yeah.
You're collecting little souls of light.
You know, I have to tell you that I do put my heart and soul into my stories. You know, that is just who I am. So, yeah. Thanks for recognizing that.
Absolutely. And I think anybody that doesn't say it, they still recognize it. They just didn't observe it enough to say it, but I think it's there. If anybody in the chat room has any questions.
I'm just reading here. Jeremy wants to be in your book. He wrote, one time we got a free citrus swirl. That was magical enough for me. So he wants you to put that into
Jeremy should be right in it.
Yes, he's ready to. That's a story for you right there.
There you go.
Anyone in the chat room, if you have any questions that I can ask Kimberley for you, please let me know. I have a couple more minutes with her. Let me show the book again, because if anybody arrived late, I really want you to know Positively Disney. This is book 1, I think. I had trouble on Amazon knowing which was book 1 and 2, because it didn't say it right on a book. But somewhere, if you read the description, it says book 1 of. So I want to start at the beginning. But there's a whole series. There's 6 of them. 6 out now.
5 out, and a 6th and a 7th coming out this year.
And we could even say probably an 8, 9, and 10 coming too, but let's not.
Oh yeah, well, number 8 will come out next year.
Okay. It really is something that I would.
Here's number 2.
We'll stick with.
Oh, there you go.
More heartwarming stories. Yeah.
Does it say 2 right on the?
No, it has more
on the spine. Yeah, it should say on the spine. On the spine, it will tell you 2.
It does too.
Yeah. So
there's a 2.
The very first book doesn't have 1, but I start numbering them at book 2, and all of them have a different color actually to them. So
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, and they all have different author photos, because I just I like to have fun, and so I have an author photo with a character. So yeah.
What I never did find out, now on the Star Wars one, you have a lightsaber across, and you said there was something about that hilt that you had a contest for it. I never did find the answer for where the hilt came from.
Yeah. So, actually, that is Obi-Wan's first, Obi-Wan Kenobi's hilt. So that was whoever, I can't remember who it was that guessed it or won that or whatever.
Kyle, but in the chat here, Kyle Fisher.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that was just fun. And I actually have my own lightsaber. I got a lightsaber made of really from actually a Disney executive that happened to be going. I was signing books and he was dressed up and we got to talking and he made lightsabers. I'm like, can you make me a special amber colored one? Anyway, so he made me a lightsaber and I actually did. And I'm not sure if it's on my YouTube channel or not, but it's called Star Wars Mom. And honest to goodness, I wielded that lightsaber. I was like a kid, a 5-year-old kid. I was outside. It was May the 3rd till May the 4th. Like it went over midnight. We were doing all these really cool shots and stuff. The next day, I couldn't even move my arm. I was so sore from like I was like out there for 2 hours. It was so much fun. And yeah, so it's called Star Wars Mom. It's out there, but it was just fun. It was just really a lot of fun.
My friend, your pal Al, is asking if you self-publish.
No. You, there's a whole team actually that is out there behind me. So I'm very grateful to be a part of the whole thing. And so, yeah. Oh, Sarah, thank you for 3 books on her Kindle. That's wonderful. Thank you for that. And something that people may not know also is that I support a charity. It's called A Moment of Magic Foundation with book sales. And I support A Moment of Magic Foundation. It's a charity. Yeah. And these are university student young men and women that dress as princes, superheroes in screen accurate costumes. So they go through training and they visit the medically vulnerable children in hospitals or at their homes, sometimes giving them a last tea party. And it was all started by a woman named Kylie McCrane after she watched Elsa and Anna in Frozen, all from that one movie. It's incredible. They visited 38,000 alone in 2019. So it's just, she set up a foundation. That's from that one movie. Look at the good that came out of that one movie. I mean, like just for the one person that got impacted by that. So
what's great to me is while everybody's thinking about medicine and that's all important, things like that are so important, and the kids look so forward to it. It changes their whole perspective and everything.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying we're curing cancer with a visit from Elsa, but it definitely does something for that day.
Well, you know what? It's a triple win, really, because these students get to volunteer. The parents get to see a smile and joy in their child that they may not have seen for a long time. And the child gets to experience the magic. It's something amazing right with them. So, yeah. So anyways, that's my foundation that I support.
Kimberley, I am so happy to have met you. I'm so happy to have discovered your books. I will be in touch to tell you my story. See if it's good. We'll see. I moved here from New York as a kid, and the whole Disney thing. I'll explain it to you. And you'll see if it's important enough. It may not be, but it might be touching.
Sure, I'd love to hear from you after we're off the air.
John can tell you all the stories of his mom, and you can put those in the.
Oh God! So those are like we need an inappropriate book for that.
Oh.
Some of the mom stories are inappropriate.
Oh, okay.
So I thank you so much. Please thank Dan for me. I will thank him also myself. And again, ladies and gentlemen, the books are Positively Disney. They are on Amazon. You can download them to your Kindle. There's a whole series. Once you get hooked with one, you're going to want to read the rest. There's no doubt. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's something really nice to read. It's something really give you some perspective on things, I think.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for having me, John. I appreciate it. And so nice to see you, Stan.
Yeah, I haven't seen you in a while. I'll have to get you on. When you do your next book, I'll get you on the show again, too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Make sure I visit you on that show, too. Thanks again.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Good night, guys. Bye.
Good night.
Wow.
That was fun.
Oh, she's fantastic. And it's amazing that I said if I meet, a lady that I feel not the warmness from, it's going to be weird because that's what I get from the writing. And then when I met her, immediately I was like, oh, that's who it is. I could tell immediately. Mm-hmm. You going to hang around for a little travel?
Yeah, sure. I'll stick around for sure. Absolutely. Okay.
We're going to bring, did you ever, I don't know if you've heard of it. No, new lady. Brand new
lady.
Agency. Brand new lady. Yeah. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Becky Mankin. She's brand new to the travel industry.
So new.
She started yesterday. She started yesterday. Hey, Becky.
Started yesterday.
Becky, you know Kimberley, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's fantastic. I love her books. But more than that, I love her. She is such a positive light. Every time I've met her, I just adore talking with her. And as a matter of fact, she and I have been talking for weeks about trying to get together when everything kind of calms down around here. So she's fantastic.
Yeah, that's a great thing. We need a positively Disney cruise meet or something.
Oh, I've been talking and thinking cruises for so long at this point that especially today or the past few days, it's been like an interesting roller coaster. And the one cruise line that is the most quiet of them all is Disney.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you had some good news for us.
I wish I had from a Disney perspective. However,
Okay.
Disney, in this case, and if somebody's listening, I'm sorry, I'm just going to put it out there and tell the truth like I always do. Disney kind of waits and sees what everybody else does first. So they're usually the last to cancel, the last to react when it's come to the whole COVID situation. And true to form, they are kind of holding their cards very close to their vest about how they're going to proceed in the next few weeks and months. So 2021 is still a lot up in the air. However, the dam is kind of breaking a little bit. So what has occurred is the CDC, and so many people have heard this story many times, has promised their conditional sailing orders are supposed to come forward, but they've been holding on to them and they haven't given the cruise lines any new instructions on how they can proceed to do their test sailings and then to get their certificate to sail. So they've been kind of just waiting, and the cruise lines are going, we're ready. We've come up with this 78-point plan on how to keep everybody safe. So we're ready to go. You just need to give us those recommendations, which they haven't done. So finally, this week, Celebrity Cruise Lines and Royal Caribbean said, fine, if you're not going to allow us to sail from the United States, we're going to go find some new home ports. And they've done it. The first revenue sailing for Celebrity is going to be June 5th out of St. Martin, which is unheard of having an embarkation and disembarkation port in the Caribbean. Royal Caribbean is actually going to do theirs on the 12th of June out of Nassau, believe it or not. And I think there's more coming. Today, there was another one where Royal Caribbean is going to have another ship going round trip out of Bermuda.
Wow.
So there's going to be a whole bunch of others that are just going to say, you know what, we're ready to sail. You may not be ready to tell us that we can sail, but we're ready. So we're kind of waiting to see what Disney's going to do next.
Do you see them reshuffling back to the home port when things?
Oh,
back
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because they've put so much money into their home ports and the infrastructure there. Billions of dollars are being put into the ports to create these custom embarkation areas for all of the cruise lines. So they're not going to say we're never going back. This is just that thing to fill the gap between now and whenever the CDC says that they can sail again from a U.S. port. Now, it's still very complicated in Alaska because Alaska is ready to bring people up there, but because of Canada doesn't want us to sail or to go across into their borders, there's a little thing called the PDSA, which is also the passenger version of the Jones Act, if you've ever heard that, that says that any non-U.S. flagged ship going between two U.S. ports has to stop in a foreign port. So if you go from Seattle, the only foreign port you have is Canada. So that's what our issue is right now. And they're trying to get around that. And that's why you haven't seen Disney or the others cancel Alaska yet, because they're holding out hope that they can get a waiver for the PVSA or something called a technical stop. So a ton of the cruise lines are just kind of waiting and hoping that they can make that happen before they cancel the rest of the Alaska season.
All right. So you're seeing I'm sorry, Stan.
Yeah, for them to do that, then they'd have to, like, currently people are booked to sail out of Vancouver.
Correct.
So now they're going to have to say, guess what, guys? You can still go on your cruise, but you're going to have to go to Seattle.
If you were on a Disney cruise, absolutely. Yeah. And several others. But Seattle's got the port and Seattle's got the place. Yeah. They could actually do it. So it's kind of an interesting fly on the wall to watch. how all of it's coming along and how the politics are working out. I know that the senators in Alaska are really pushing because this will be 2 seasons of not having their number one industry.
Yeah.
So I know that a lot of people are hurting up there, and I personally believe that the cruise lines are in a great position to provide a safe and healthy environment. They just have to get the okay to do so.
You would think that would go through. Like, why wouldn't that go through?
The technical stop, especially, because all that means is the ship sails into port. Somebody boards the ship, gets a book stamp that says, yes, you've visited our port, and off they go. So it seems simple enough, but of course we're in the world of politics and government, which of course that doesn't mean simple.
Well, just send us some vaccines and you'll be good to stop over.
Speaking of vaccines, are you hearing anything, or are you thinking you're going to have like a vaccine passport to go places?
You know what? I absolutely think that that's going to be something in our future. I know that so far the cruise lines that have decided to sail are requiring vaccines of some sort at this point. As people get vaccinated, that may go away. But I think what we have is an issue of not so much the cruise lines saying you have to be vaccinated, show me. It's the ports of call saying, if you're going to bring people into our country, we want to make sure they're vaccinated. So I know that there's at least 4 companies right now that are working on some sort of medical vaccine passport that you can easily carry with you rather than the little paper cards that we have that we're going, should we laminate this or what? I don't want to hurt it. It's like, this is like my $1,000 bill that I can't lose. No one has moved forward with something beyond a beta test at this point, but I think it's going to be in our future.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Now, Disney announced recently river cruises in Europe.
Yeah, and they're focused on 2022.
Yes.
And they have actually had that the river cruises going for a couple of years now, in conjunction with AMA Waterways, which is a fantastic river cruise line. I've actually sailed them on an ABD, and believe it or not, Christmas markets. You ever want to do something absolutely fantastic? A river cruise during Christmas markets is beyond spectacular. And I may be working on one of those for later. Anyway, I cannot confirm nor deny that I may have my sights on doing a river cruise group in for Christmas markets eventually. But right now, they are still scheduled to sail their river cruises this summer. But I personally think that they probably will have to cancel those sooner or later.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Oh, any word on the new ships that they're working on?
I know
we do probably, that they're promising.
I will tell you, I got really excited because we started getting those little whispers about 2022 being put on sale, which they did go on sale this week. Tomorrow it goes to general population, but at first we were thinking that means the Wish, because we knew the Wish was coming for 2022, but unfortunately they held that one back. So we don't have an idea yet of when it's going to be released. It's probably smart of them to put the rest of the fleet on sale and then go to the Wish after the fact, because that just might blow up their phone lines if they're not careful.
So the Wish will still come out in 2022?
Yes. It is on target for summer of 2022. At the very beginning, it was going to be earlier in the year, but now it's fully on target for summer.
Donald and Marie Nicholson planted a seed in my head that will probably become a thing at some point.
Okay.
I've told you about this. You know about it. We're thinking about November 2022, a Disney cruise, a Panda Disney cruise. Stan, I hope you come. Possibly coordinated with the Main Street Mouse as well. So maybe we'll do like a live on location on the ship. We'll see. But we're trying to gauge interest. So let me know as time goes on quickly about November 2022 if you want to go do a cruise with me.
I'm trying to convince them to do New York to Eastern Canada in October 2022. You get to go to your own stomping ground.
I love those. I will tell you, when Royal Caribbean did it, they just came out with this fantastic Bermuda round trip. I love Bermuda. I love Bermuda. I love going to Canada. I love that round trip New York that will go north and then go over to Bermuda and come back. Right now, it wouldn't take much to convince me to go on a cruise.
To go anywhere. Right now, she'll go to anywhere. I just tried to think of a bad place and I couldn't.
I just want to get across the border first.
Yeah, Stan, you are kind of stuck. I
can't even go to Ontario. Never mind on a cruise.
I know.
All three of you, vaccinations yet?
I have one in the arm so far.
I got one in the arm. Stan?
No, that Canada ran out. We don't have any left.
Canada ran out.
Well, apparently, you sort of told you, right?
Is it coming, Stan? Are you seeing a light at the end of the tunnel?
In my province, they're doing 65 and older only.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you don't have it as bad either over there. Like, he tells me there's 5, Becky, in his village that have it. That have had COVID. Like, in the whole time it's been out, 5 people, like, out of the whole town.
I think we have 1,000 in our province, or 1,200 or something like that.
And how many people are in your province?
Over 1 million, just over 1 million.
So that's not that bad.
It's a small amount, but yeah.
So Becky, are you feeling the tiles of the dam coming out? Like, it feels like people are pent up, right?
We're turning the corner, and that is the thing. You're going to hear me talk about this every single time that I come on to talk to you about travel. If you're even thinking about going anywhere in 2022, do not wait. Book it now.
I agree.
Book it in such a way that you can change dates or get your money back if that date doesn't work for you. But if there's something, if you want to go to Disney World, if you want to go on a cruise, book it now. I can't even begin to stress how important that will be, because right now, for us, it feels like pre-pandemic, where we were doing double-digit increases in our business every year. People are booking for 2022 right now like there's going to be a pandemic afterwards. There's this window of opportunity, and I'm going now. But what will happen in that scenario is that if you don't book early, rates increase. So especially on a Disney cruise, they start at 0, tier 1 when they start releasing rates. And as the ship fills, the prices increase. So as of tomorrow, anything in summer of 2022 is already going to be on sale, and the prices are already going to be jumping up.
Yeah.
Same thing I'm seeing right now for Walt Disney World, which is definitely unheard of. We've never seen Disney World fill up this fast, this far in advance. So
I think this is a dumb question, and I think I know the answer, but I'm asking you anyway. Do you find that people are getting their second stimulus and just be like, yep, booking a trip?
I don't know. I have zero idea if it's stimulus. Okay.
I'm thinking that's a thing.
It could be, but right now it was like the moment that we started hearing about the vaccines and they are getting out and they are circulating and people started feeling more comfortable in just a couple of weeks. It was like it went from 0 to 60 miles an hour in just a matter of a week or two.
Okay, good.
So it feels good. We're turning a corner. Hopefully we can keep on this trajectory, which would be a fantastic thing. I did notice that Linda was asking about when we can do dessert parties again. We do specialize in events. As a matter of fact, we can even do weddings now at Disney World. So we can help you with all of those details. But at this point, we can contract them, but they're not, it's on a case-by-case basis. And as we're moving through the calendar, I have some events that are contracted for Q4 of this year, which I'm already being told it may or may not happen depending on the situation at the time.
So you're saying you contract, it's booked, but you don't know, they could refund it and say it's not happening.
Correct.
You can't even talk about it yet then.
Correct. I have several things up my sleeve that I cannot talk about right now because of the possibility, because I don't want to get people's hopes up and start selling tickets to something that they come turn around and say, I'm sorry, we're just not prepared to do that yet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so mousefantravel.com. If you go there, you can fill out a request for a quote free, and one of the good agents there, the great agents, will get back to you. Mousefantravel.com. Thank you, Becky.
Thank you. I really appreciate being able to come on and
I
talk
love these
about the
updates.
latest, newest things. And hopefully next time we talk, we'll have more details about Disneyland.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah,
So April 30th, it is opening in some form or fashion.
Yeah, it's opening to California residents only at this point, and at 15% capacity. So that's
Good luck getting tickets for that.
Yeah. you thought radio station rock concerts were bad? Forget, or bibs for race bibs.
We got to get Becky on the Saturday night show because there's so much more to talk about.
Okay.
Anytime. I'm available to any of you guys anytime, and I'm always happy to answer any questions that anybody has. You can feel free to message me on Facebook. I'm always available to answer questions. And if you do want a recommendation for a travel planner, which, by the way, we do not charge you anything. It's fee free. If you have to cancel, that's fine. We're here for you. So if you don't have one and you want to be matched up with someone, just let me know, and I'll personally introduce you to one of my team.
Do it. It's the best relationship you can get right now. Becky, I'm going to let you off the hook while me and Stan talk about what's coming up. In 2 weeks from now, I'll ask you to come back, and hopefully you're available.
And hopefully we'll have more good news.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great seeing you guys.
Nice to see you again, Becky.
Stan, what's coming up? Grand Circle Tour podcast.
Well, the guys did
Grand Circle Tour show. Stan Solo.
The Grand Circle Tour podcast, I think it's called. There it is. The guys did a coffee break show. It's a half-hour quick one, just kind of blue sky dreaming about what they want to do with Mission or Space Mountain. If Tron's coming, is Space Mountain going to look antique? Does it need to be upgraded? What would you do with it? So that was their coffee. What do they call it? Coffee break podcast or something like that. Yeah, it was a short one. But yeah, it was fun. It was good. I wasn't on that one. It was George and Jason. But yeah, check that one out. Solo show's coming back early April. I'm super excited to get back to that. Ken's doing well after his heart operation, and he'll be raring to go. How about with you? What's coming up with you?
Let's see. Next week we're doing a trivia. You know, I'm doing guest then trivia. So pandatrivia.com will be next Tuesday. And then I don't have a guest yet for the next Tuesday because the guest that I had switched to 2 Tuesdays from then because then there's another trivia. So I'll come up with some other guest after that. But it's trivia. It's trivia next week.
It's hard to plan this all out every week and get it organized. It's not the easiest.
I hope you come back. Oh, so the person that won trivia last week was Han Shot First. I thought that was you at first. I didn't know what name you'd pick, so I assumed any Star Wars name was you.
I went with Solo. Very original.
That was very original. Jeremy Goff. Oh gosh, Jeremy. I don't know if I'm even allowed to say this. He's been making some really cool. Do you see the shadow boxes?
The what?
The shadow boxes.
Oh yes, the shadow box. Oh yeah.
The Haunted Mansion shadow box. Linda got me one actually as a surprise.
Oh nice.
And then I got another one coming as another surprise. All right, it's 8:59. We're going to let you all go. Thank you so much for joining us. This was a lot of fun. I'm glad we.
I'm just reading Linda's comment. She never got on. Just before we came on here, we did the escape room challenge on the Grand Circle Tour live.
Oh, was it good?
It was good. It was good. But Linda said she would have never gotten out. It was a tough one. They were stumped, and Holly's little son figured out the solution on two of them actually. No one else could figure it out. He figured them out.
Are you kidding? How old is he?
Holly, is she in here?
Approximate.
Like 10, 11. Yeah. He figured it out before anybody.
I just bought from Amazon 2 escape room board games. They went on sale. They're like $19. One is Escape from the Dollhouse and Escape from the... I was so excited. I had one person ready to play it with. Needs at least 3 people. And I'm like, that's hard. I don't have a third person.
Do it on the live show.
I don't know if you can do a board game thing on the live show.
We did online.
It might be like, I might have to hand you something to read that's secret to the rest of the people. I don't know. Is that what you did? Was a board game?
We did a lot. It was an online escape room.
Oh, it was online.
We had to escape from Epcot.
Okay, the next time you do one of those, tell me again. I want to come and do that.
Yeah. We're going to do Hollywood Studios next.
Okay, I'm going to try. I might cancel my show just so I can come and do that. I'm not kidding. I would do that.
They're a lot of fun. I think the chat likes them a lot.
All right, thank you, everybody. Al, thank you so much. Al's been asking everybody to put a thumbs up. He's my good pal. What a good guy this guy is. Your pal Al on YouTube?
Nice.
Really good guy. He doesn't get half the credit he deserves, and I know it because I don't get half the credit I deserve either. Alex. So.
None of us do.
None of us do. Stan, you get only 10% of the credit. You deserve.
Oh, I get like 90%.
Oh, these were the people, Ma and Pa, who were supposed to be on my show next Tuesday, who are now 2 Tuesdays from now. But that's
Wouldn't
okay.
it be
We'll find.
No, two
I don't
Tuesdays.
know. I might have. Maybe we'll have Jeremy Goff do some more music again. Jeremy, do you want to do more music on next? Not this Tuesday, but the next Tuesday. You let me know. Love you guys. Thank you, Stan. Stan, I loved having you here tonight to help me.
It was great. Thanks for inviting me.
Good. I'll talk to you soon, man.
Have a good night.